Hello and welcome to this week's vodcast for Thursday the 2nd of December 2010 with me, Kevin Ross, for an easy listening digest of the week's news from the Melton Times. Coming up, the bedside vigil for the Thai crash victim, community call to join crime busters, the chocolate cheese wins over judges, and finally in sport, Matt Snow digs in. All this and more coming up next in the Melton Times vodcast for Thursday, December the 2nd, 2010. On the front page of the Melton Times this week, a family is keeping a bedside vigil for a Melton-born man seriously injured in a road accident in Thailand. Anthony Giles, aged 22, suffered multiple injuries after the moped he and a friend were riding on the road was involved in a head-on collision with a car. His worried family have already spent their entire life savings to pay for operations and hospital treatments for Anthony in Thailand and have issued a desperate plea for help and funds to pay for fees. The accident happened last Thursday and Anthony, who was riding pillion, suffered horrific injuries including broken legs and an arm and severe chest injuries, which means at the present he can't breathe without a respirator and remains under constant sedation. Unfortunately, Anthony didn't have travel insurance because he intended to live in Thailand and he was told holiday insurance would only last 3 months. The family haven't yet been able to find out whether the car driver involved in the collision was insured. Anthony's family would be grateful for any financial donations to help their desperate plight as well as any legal or other advice. A Bring Home Anthony bank account has been set up at Melton's HSBC branch. Anyone who would like to help can email Melanie at bah@sfcmidlands.co.uk. Don't think this happens to other people and not you. Those are the words of a Melton woman left distraught after thieves stole her car from her driveway in a matter of seconds. Elizabeth Walsh of Baldock's Lane had been out defrosting her car on Monday morning before locking it and going back inside. She was about to leave for work when she realised she had forgotten something she needed in the house. She left the car running as she nipped back. Within seconds, her silver Vauxhall Corsa was being driven away. Mrs Walsh is offering a wall for the safe return of her car, registration BV07NVB. Anyone with any information about the theft or similar offences should call Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111. Community champions are needed to join a growing neighbourhood watch network in Melton. A recruitment drive has been launched for community spirit volunteers willing to cover part or their own street, delivering information, leaflets, posters and stickers, or act as coordinators. Police volunteer and Beat Cascade manager Eric Tyndall said neighbourhood watch coverage in the town was increasing rapidly. Anyone who'd like to get involved with neighbourhood watch in their area can email Eric on eric.tyndall@leicestershire.pnn.police.uk or leave a message at the Melton Police Station. And staying with crime, 7 men have been charged with revenue offences following an investigation into a suspected illegal counterfeit alcohol manufacturing operation based at a remote industrial unit at a farm near Little Dolby. The men, 6 from Nottingham and 1 from Weston-super-Mare, were arrested last year by HM Revenue and Customs. All defendants have been bailed until December the 14th at Nottingham Crown Court. An 8th man will appear before magistrates on January the 19th. More than 20 schools in Melton and the Vale of Belvoir were closed yesterday because of the snow and icy conditions, with others opening an hour later to give teachers more chance of getting in. Melton Council said its waste collection service was being disrupted by the severe weather and due to difficulty of getting vehicles safely up and down untreated side streets. Verdant was only servicing properties on or adjacent to main treated roads. And due to staff shortages, its customer services desk at Melton Library was shut. Bus services were also disrupted, with Veolia Transport forced to cancel its Melton to Grantham service yesterday. On Wednesday, the marketplace was also closed, and more snow and light showers are expected today, but the weather should ease by the weekend.
Hi, this is Alan Duncan, and you are listening to the Melton Times podcast.
A Melton police officer who suffered a life-changing injury after being hit by a lorry has spoken publicly for the first time about his ordeal. PC Dick Piscula said he had been humbled and overwhelmed by the support shown by Melton people wishing him a speedy recovery. The father of 2 underwent 6 hours of emergency surgery on his right hand after it was caught between his patrol car and a passing lorry in Leicester Street 6 weeks ago. Only the quick action of Special Constable John Stokes, a paramedic in his day job, saved his hand. The incident, which happened on Tuesday, October the 12th, is still being investigated by the Serious Collision Investigation Unit. The 39-year-old man arrested in connection with the incident remains on police bail pending further inquiries. The winners of the Melton Times Baby of the Year competition have been presented with their prizes. The competition was run in conjunction with BCR Photographic and Melton Vineyard at the Source in King Street. The overall winner was Alfie Still of Bramley Close, and the other category winners were Milne May Collins on Drummond Walk and Abigail Hare of Eagles Drive. Runners-up were Amelia Johnson of Grange Drive, Lola Willett of Hose Lane, Long Clawson, and Faith Dell of Coman Close. And staying with young children, creative pupils were challenged to concoct their own cheesy delight in the competition run by Long Clawson Dairy. Annie Blissett from the dairy recently paid a visit to Long Clawson Church of England Primary School. She talked to pupils about the cheeses they make. She also took some cheese samples to taste. Year 1 pupils were then set a challenge to design their own cheese, only being allowed to use 3 elements. It was 5-year-old Oliver Flavid's chocolate, pear and vanilla cheese recipe which finally won them over. Supermarket customers are being urged to give a grocery and help needy Melton citizens. Representatives from Melton Lions Club, Melton Beaver Rotary, Melton Rotary and WC Barnes Trust are working together and appealing to kind-hearted customers to donate a food item during collection at 3 local stores, the Co-op, Tesco and Morrison's. Also looking for help is a university student whose sister is serving in the parachute regiment in Afghanistan. She's appealing for gifts to send to the troops in time for Christmas. Holly Bone, who is studying at Nottingham Trent University, is hoping to dispatch 5 or 6 parcels to Sister Megan from Long Clawson. Any gifts can be happily dropped off at the Melton Times office in Nottingham by Friday, December the 10th. Staff from Mars Food UK will be teaming up with students from Longfield School in Melton to salute 200 community heroes next week. They'll be cooking and serving a delicious Italian dish, followed by a light dessert at 9 venues in the borough on Wednesday to say thank you for their guests, who will include RAF, police and fire officers, midwives, volunteers, charity workers, carers. The Meals for Heroes event is part of the Mars in the Community programme, which has been running for more than 50 years. Now also running or walking, there are just 10 days to go before the first ever Melton Santa Fun Run. It's hoped up to 400 people of all ages and abilities will run or walk a fully marshalled 5-kilometre course around Melton Country Park at 11 in the morning on Sunday the 12th of December. Those taking part are invited to turn up from 10 a.m. to collect those all-important red suits and sample the atmosphere. The cafe is also open, serving hot bacon and sausage baps, soup and hot drinks. The event is being organised by the Rotary Club of Melton Mowbray. The entry is £10 for adults and £5 for children. To register, log on to meltonsantafunrun.co.uk. And finally, Melton's Christmas Light Switch On event was a spectacular success, kickstarting the town's festive Shop Local campaign. The event was an all-day affair with everything from children's choirs, bands and a Christmas market to a live broadcast, fireworks and late evening shopping. The excitement built up during the day and went into overdrive with the arrival of Santa and his reindeer, BBC Radio Leicester's roadshow and a live fire show as day turned to dusk. It then reached fever pitch when Emmerdale star Lyndon Ogborne, who plays bad boy Nathan Wilde in the soap, arrived with the mayoral party to lead the countdown and switch on the Christmas lights. Crowds were then treated to a firework finale and another hour of live music and shopping. There's plenty going on in the run-up to Christmas, and anticipated 10,000 people are expected to send on Melton for the Victorian Christmas Fair on Sunday, and they'll enjoy a feast of festive fun and food. About 100 stalls will line the streets, and organisers are promising attractions and entertainment at every turn. In keeping with the Victorian theme, all stallholders are asked to dress up in costumes from the period, and there'll be a puppet show, storyteller, Victorian dances and much, much more. The main stage will be in the marketplace, compared by community radio station 103.I. And don't forget to visit the Melton Times stall in Nottingham Street. We'll be giving away goodie bags with a paper and our 2011 calendar. Also coming up this weekend, St Mary's Christmas Tree Festival, which signals the start of the festive season for many Melton people. More than 300 decorated trees will light up the parish church for the next 5 days, and a number of celebration events will be held too. On Friday, the festival will be open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. with a buffet and wine evening at 7:30. The church will then be open from 9 till 5 on Saturday with a special all-age carol service at 5:30. A 4-day festival of cribs is being held at Sage Cross Methodist Church from Saturday to complement the Victorian Christmas Fair and St Mary's Church Christmas Tree Festival. There'll be about 50 exhibits made of all kinds of materials and from all sorts of countries across the world. They'll be there to view, each one with its own story. Admission to the Crib Festival to include a programme is £1.50 with under 16s free. And where would we be without the curtain going up on Travon's 32nd annual pantomime? Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs at Melton Theatre on Saturday. The dance school is putting on 10 shows and tickets are selling fast. For more information, call the box office on 851111. And moving into next week, members of the Melton Mowbray Beaver Rotary Club, Inner Wheel, Interact Club and Round Table will take to the streets with Santa's sleigh for the annual street collection from Monday. Santa will be actually making his first appearance at the Christmas Fair on Sunday, and then from Monday to Saturday, December the 11th, will be seen around the streets of Melton between 6 and 8 o'clock in the evening. And of course, Christmas wouldn't be Christmas without the Trumpton Tour, which will be hitting the streets from Sunday. The Trumpton Engine has been collecting money for the town's charities and causes for the last 30 years, raising tens of thousands of pounds. Last year's collection raised £4,500 for good causes. And finally, in this week's Packed Free Time, yes, it's the final chapter. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 can be seen at the Regal Cinema. Call the Regal on 562251 or go to their website regal-melton.co.uk.
Have you ever heard the Melton Times?
Have you heard the Melton Times?
The Melton Times Podcast. It's news in a flash.
And in sport, Melton Hockey's Club First 16 will enter 2011 without a league win to their name. But skipper Matt Snow insists morale is high and survival if achievable. First had a wonderful chance to end a miserable first half of the season with a home match against fellow strugglers Chesterfield. But Saturday's snowfall ensured Melton went into a 7-week winter break, rooted to the bottom of the Midlands Premier. And former Edgerton Park and England cricket player Tim Munton took on a new look last month to help raise funds for a charity very close to his heart. Tim grew facial hair as he joined the National Movember campaign to fundraise for the Prostate Cancer charity. To make a donation, visit Movember.com, click on donate and search for Tim Munton and follow the simple instructions. Well, that's about it. Of course, the full stories can be found in the Melton Times. So until next week, when we'll have yet more news and sport, have a very safe week. That was your JK Media production for the Melton Times.